It's not pressure to top yourself. I look at it like a crossword puzzle. The beat is the backdrop for the puzzle. You have to fit comfortably the words interweaving through this beat and still make it sound clean, clear, and concise. Once you find the flow and crack the code, then it's just about saying the freshest shit. And we can say fresh shit all day.
It's a gift. It's a talent.
It's a standard.
Yeah, it's definitely a standard. I truly believe we could do 10 albums a year and everybody be satisfied with it. We just wouldn't be satisfied with anything mediocre. You know what I'm saying? When you get Clipse music, it's chiseled. It is handcrafted. I think the Clipse is a novelty and not fly by night.
So far ahead, of course, once again, starts with the beat. The beat, man, is like a off bop. We had the hook for it first. So it was Pharrell singing in falsetto, but he was talking shit, like heavy shit through the falsetto. The hook was so infectious, but the bop of the beat was so different. The bop was so unorthodox, we had to ensure that like the lines were just cutting each time. That was the attack on it.
I think it's fair to say, Pharrell lives vicariously through everybody that he works with. He studies them, he understands the artists. That's how he produces for artists. Pharrell and I actually had a conversation because I told him, I said, it seems to me when you make the beat, the hook comes right with it in your head as you're making the beat. And he was like, you're exactly right. That's exactly how it happens.
Swerving through the lane, serving niggas cane, still ain't never hit a pothole. If I was Brittany Griner, I'ma need Obama, only one to swap his Chapo. I thought it was ill that Brittany Griner got swapped for, somebody else. And that's how she got out of her situation. The only one to swap for me is Chapo. You gotta top it, man. Like that's just drawing that parallel and just taking it to the next level. Furthest from the streets, Monica Denise, good bitches fuck with Roccos. Put them in them cars, hanging out with stars. Now it's hard to tell they not hoes. The dope boys be fucking up the worlds of innocent people who, innocent women who ain't from the streets or, and they just bring that energy on. Hanging out with the guys like us. It's a whole preconceived notion about you as, as a woman. It's just shit that come along. We the dark cloud. That was just the whole energy behind the verse. It's just, dope boy, dark cloud. This is what happens. Your co-defendant claim immunity. It was you and he. How'd you not know? Unless you leave in court in a Bentley Sport just to meet you at the yacht though. Unless y'all done collaborated and then talked out what's gonna happen. If he made a deal that you didn't know about, man, that's dirty work. Somebody's at ease and somebody's made the deal. Like somebody's calm and very convinced at what they're already gonna do already.
Somebody's eating and somebody's not eating. Someone doesn't have an appetite. Understand the art of war. All my niggas draw, so we all Picassos. Me just being me, respect the P&B. I probably never eat at Roscoe's. Because of what happened to P&B, I'll probably just never go to Roscoe's ever again. I didn't like it. I just didn't like I didn't like how that scenario played out. Just corny shit, man. Like, that's corny. Like, P&B super talented. With his family.
Like, come on. I just ain't going. I ain't never going again, actually. Million ways to live, million ways to die, million stuffed in an auto. Million ways to wash it, million ways to stop it. Pray for me, cause we not though. The attitude in the verse is like basically how the dope boy just kind of like, he don't give a fuck about shit. Like he really fucks up a lot of what he encounters. Million ways to stop it. Pray for me, cause we not though. It's just like, man, we not gonna stop. We know, we see it. We understand that it's the wrong way to go, but you just not gonna stop. Best believe I can whip a Christmas Eve with some work and a hot stove. They done took it all, praying that he fall. No more questions about Gestapo. This music is being written in real time. So like, everywhere I turn is like, because I was such a part of good music, it was nowhere I couldn't turn where people were asking me about Ye, like what's he on? What's this mindset? I think at the time it was, maybe it had just turned into the Nazi thing or whatever. Everybody was asking me. I was like, man, no more questions about that shit. Like, I can't explain it for you. I can't explain it for him.
Niggas tried to sneeze at the blessing. How could I just leave was the question. Whistleblowers left me no choice. Ain't no referees up in heaven. My calling, or what I felt I had to do. There were some people that tried to write it off. There were some people that thought it was crazy. Yeah, there was just a lot of things going on that were not within our code of conduct. So it really wasn't hard to leave, especially when you know what it is you have to do for yourself. When you know you have to look at yourself in the mirror, when you know that you having sleepless nights. It really was an easy choice. There's no amount of money, there's no amount of anything if you're in search of and seeking for your own inner peace. No mistaking me for the reverend, ushering the money, my confession. How your pastor whip a Rolls Royce. That was me pre 9/11. That no mistaking me for the reverend. I didn't want anyone to misconstrue the choices that I had made for being or thinking that I'm high and mighty or passing judgment on anybody. I wanted to make that clear. How your pastor drive a Rolls Royce. That was me pre 9/11, speaking to a time when I had a Porsche, a 9/11 Porsche. And then of course we know everything that happened with the towers and all of that. Everybody wants to kind of discredit the pastor for having money. They think that if you stand for the word of God, you're supposed to be dingy and destitute, and not have anything or whatever. It's not the money that's the root of all evil. It's the love of the money. Even in the Bible, Jesus said, do what they say, don't do what they do. The word is true. Everything man touches, he defiles. Count every man a liar and let God be true. People watch everybody and try to critique people. Everybody falls short. Look at me, post Armageddon. Walking with my dog, I am legend. Walking with my dog, and I'm all about my dog. I post them from time to time, but everybody that knows me knows I'm a dog fanatic. I love dogs. The grass is greener on each side. I done been both Mase and Bethers. I done been at both intersections. I done pulled Ocean's 11s, even when the well ran dry. I done raised quotes in the desert. I feel like I relate to Mase in his walk, being at the pinnacle of his career and having a change, because what would make you give up everything? And not give up everything on one hand, knowing something's over here to catch you. It's giving up everything on one hand and not knowing how it's going to play out. I think that's just the biggest testament. I think as far as walks is concerned, I feel like, I walked a very similar walk or experience to what Mase had experienced. Tried to hide the dope in the message, like we did the coke in the Lexus. Same hands I used to whip work, see me turn them both into blessings. I could even take you back to our first album, exclusive audio footage, and it opened up with a very sincere prayer. We knew the things that we were saying. We knew the things that we were doing. We knew the things that we were talking about. Even in that prayer, it was like, can somebody see past this? Not to harm anyone or anyone who would latch on and try to replicate the things that we were into at that time. AMG the spokes for the extras. Only way to cope with the pressure. When you feel you in too deep, let God take the wheel like a Tesla. This whole project right now is a testament of me letting God take the wheel. When we first came out, we fought for this. We were able to accomplish a lot of great success. This time, I ain't strive for nothing. I ain't seek out no deal. I ain't look for no deal. I ain't look for no fashion. I ain't look for no jewelry. You know what I'm saying? I ain't look for nothing. That is me letting God take the wheel. And I would suggest that to anyone. Stop stressing so much. Stop worrying about a thing. Get some faith and fast. The album title is Let God Sort 'Em Out. It's funny because me and T was just talking about it, and he thought I came up with the title. I thought he came up with the title. You know what I'm saying? So somewhere in our conversations, it just, you know what I'm saying, came into fruition. Looking at all of our titles of the albums, it just follows the same theme, you know what I'm saying? Lord willing, hell have no fury till the casket drops. Now let God sort 'em out. It plays right into who we are.
In the competitive spirit of hip hop, the full phrase is kill 'em all, let God sort 'em out.